What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers trading for Dorian Finney Smith was a very impactful trade. I know Lakers have not been great since acquiring him, but it's not been because of him. He's been fantastic, right? He's had and leading the team in plus minus since coming to the team, and you can clearly see why. Guy does everything out there. He does the dirty work, right? He defends multiple positions, can play multiple positions. He shot is coming around still. He's still shooting the ball well for the Lakers and just has been really good on both sides of the basketball, right? He's not a guy, like I said, that is going to go out and shoot, give you 30 a game or anything crazy like that. But that's not what he's there for, right? He's there to be a legitimate two-way guy. He's there to be a guy that you can count on a nightly basis that can play multiple positions and do the dirty work. Most of the stuff that he does doesn't show up on the box score, right? And he's shooting just under 41% from three for the Lakers on 3.7 attempts, right? Like, that is great, right? He was shooting, the big concern of a guy goes to from one team in which he's shooting 43.5% in Brooklyn to the Lakers, and then they just completely forget how to shoot, completely forget how to play basketball, and lo and behold, boom, Dorian Finney Smith did not. Dorian Finney Smith has been fantastic. But there is this kind of sense of okay, well, what happens with Rui now, right? Dorian Finney Smith should be in the starting unit, right? I like Rui. Most fans like Rui. I do think he needs to be traded, but I think it's primarily because he's slotted out of position and kind of a redundancy out there. And, if there was a way to kind of make it work, I would, but I just don't see a path. He's not good enough defensively. Dorian Finney-Smith just gives you what you need on both sides of the basketball while still giving you the same type of production on the offensive side of things, right? Now, Rui Hachimura, obviously, as we saw in the last game, is a guy that can absolutely get going, light it up, and knock down some shots. But Dorian Finney-Smith missed the last game against Miami Heat and is very likely going to miss the next game against the Nets because he just had a child, right? Just had the birth of his child, which is awesome. Congratulations to him. But we saw Rui Hachimura have a very good basketball game. He has struggled mightily ever since Dorian Finney-Smith got to the Lakers. Now, Dorian Finney-Smith, he's not there that game. And is it really a coincidence that Rui had his best game in a while? 23 points on 9 of 15 shooting, 40% from 3, 2 of 5. 8 rebounds. That's the key, right? He had a 3-game stint where he had 3 rebounds in 3 games. That's terrible, right? 1 assist, a steal, and was a plus 10, right? He had a very good game. He was out there. He was active. He even got a couple loose balls, keeping things alive. The guy had a game, right? No nonsense. He had a game, and I was very impressed with his performance that game. But it also might have been very bad for the Lakers. 2 reasons. 1, again, I think that the Lakers need to trade him, which you could argue that raises his trade value. Lakers benefit. Hey, look at what this guy can do, right? And so, there is that argument to it, but it also kind of, there's been the rumors and the murmurs that, Rui Hachimura may not be available, right? That the Lakers might not look to trade him. And if he's having great games like that, well, then guess what? Lakers are probably not going to trade him. But the biggest thing, whether they trade him or not, is Dorian Finney-Smith needs to be your starter. Rui just had a great game while Dorian Finney-Smith was out. What do you think is probably going to happen now that Rui had a great game and he already wasn't the starter? Chances are Rui's going to probably continue to be the starter. And again, it shouldn't be the case, right? It's malpractice at this point, right? Obviously, if Dorian Finney-Smith isn't there, then sure, right? If Dorian Finney-Smith is out, well, then yeah, you got to play Rui, right? It's understandable, it's justifiable at that point. However, if he's not, then he shouldn't be. Then he should be the guy that's starting, right? Rui should be the guy coming off the bench until we figure out, some type of trade or move or whatever. Again, I don't want Rui traded just to trade him, but, I do think that there is a genuine argument that you should look to flip him into something, right? A perimeter guy, a center or whatever, whether it's, a Bruce Brown or a Nikola Vucevic, or maybe Lakers go try to get both. We'll see. Time will tell. But I just think that the Lakers need to make a move on Rui. But he might have just to mess things up for the us fans, for the Lakers, right? Because, JJ had a 3-game lose, was Laker, or not JJ, but the Lakers as a whole. But JJ whenever the Lakers get into a little bit of go on a losing streak, JJ will usually change the lineup. We've seen it several times with, from, D'Lo to Connect, from Connect to, Max Christie, right? And then kind of just stuck him with that since. So the hope was, okay, they're on a 3-game losing streak. JJ Redick's going to make another change. And the one that makes most sense is just swapping Rui for Dorian Finney Smith. Plus the metrics and, all the eye tests, the numbers, like everything. Like, he's a very analytical guy. Well, all the analytics say that Dorian Finney Smith should be in the starting lineup over Rui Hachimura. So it's like, okay, how many more games do you need to see for proof that, Dorian Finney Smith needs to be your starter? Also, you need to trade Rui Hachimura. Again, I love Rui. And as somebody that's a fan of Rui, I want to see him traded, right? Because I want to see him have success and be able to play on an actual team that can utilize his skill set and give him the proper opportunity and all that stuff. If you're a fan of Rui, you should want the Lakers to trade him, right? So that way he can go to a place that wants that, right? Lakers have too many holes, have too many redundancies. They need to fix, and Rui's the best way to fix those things, right? Like, if we were a championship contender, right, and we were, a top 3 to 5 team, and it's like, hey, why not keep Rui? Then fine, right? Keep Rui. But we're not. And we're a pretty good ways away. And the only way that realistically you're probably going to be able to get that done is by trading Rui Hachimura. And so I just think that the Lakers, it's almost inevitable at this point that they're going to have to trade him. But unless Rob Pelinka is telling JJ, like, hey, dude, you got to keep him in the starting unit, which is always very possible. Because it's just odd that JJ, who is all about the numbers, all about the analytics, buys into all that stuff and has yet to move Dorian Finney-Smith into the starting unit. Right? Like, it's odd, right? Like, you'd think that would have been the first thing. I mean, unless he wants maybe more of a sample size. But even then, I mean, it's like blatantly obvious. So my thought process is that maybe that means that Rob Pelinka might have been like, hey, dude, like, I'm working on trades. I need you to keep him in the starting unit, which happens all the time, right? Like, you never want to bench a guy you're looking to move because you don't want to, like, oh, now he's a bench guy he's undervalued for it. No, you want to, like, hey, no, this is one of our starters. This is one of our top 5 guys type thing, right? So, like, those are the things you got to keep in mind when it's like, well, why is Rui still starting? It could be Rob Pelinka's just like, hey, you gotta keep Rui in the starting unit. You have no choice, right? So that could be something, but it's just after this game, it was and especially if he follows this up with another good game, it's gonna be. You can already see Rui Hachimura is still the starter. It's just like, and I just think that again we're gonna run into a good team, and you're gonna see like, we need Dorian Finney-Smith to be the starter again, right? That's what the Lakers need, right? Lakers need Dorian Finney-Smith to be the starter, and then have Rui Hachimura be the guy that comes off the bench. Also, Rui could be more of a focal point, right? Like, maybe it works, and maybe it's fine, and maybe he solves all your bench production, and and Dorian Finney-Smith better balances out your starting unit, so you're in games early on, and you'd be surprised what a couple minor changes, what a couple adjustments can do to your rotation, and all of a sudden things are very different. So my hope is that that's the case. But at the end of the day, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think this might be a problem? Do you think like, nah, it'll be all right. It'll all work itself out. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. turn the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.